3, 2, 1.
This is the Here and Now radio show on 1400 WSTC.
Here we go.
The show that brings you the latest in local news, business, entertainment, sports, and events going on around in Stamford and Fairfield County. Listen to us streaming online at 1400WSTC.com.
Stand by.
Join your host, Noah Roth. Our weekly contributors, Mike Robb, Christian Perry, Danielle Costa, Dave Rudin, Mike McGinnis, Edith Cobb, the Don Marty Sheehan, and of course I, Chris Lane, will be here to guide you.
Your attention, please.
And now here's your host, Noah Roth.
To a very special edition of the Here Now radio show. We've got Noah Roth, Marty Sheehan, the Don, Chris Lane here with you, and we are joined by a very special guest right now. His name is Terrence Cheng. We're over at UConn Stamford. It is the Race and Revolution art exhibit going on here this evening. The event kicks off right now, 6 o'clock, and it goes all the way until 8. So come on over. If you're in traffic on I-95, stop in, relax. We got food, we got drink, and we've got Terrence giving high fives just before the broadcast as well, so a very popular gentleman along these hallways. Welcome.
A rarity for somebody running the program here, right? Very, nobody likes the uppity-ups over here.
Well, we do what we got to do. Yeah.
So we met today over lunch, which was nice. Jack picked up lunch. I don't know Terrence. I just met him today. I found him to be a very likable fellow. And we were talking about this event here, and I just did a quick tour. And I have to say, a couple of things hit me already. So you were telling me before we went on the air how this came about. So I wanted to share that again with us.
Sure. So this show was at Governor's Island for a month before it came to campus, and I met the curator, K.V. Fuller, at an event, and we got to talking, and she told me about the show and what it was born from. You know, she is a former teacher and an activist, and so many of the events of today in our society across the country, very disturbing, the racial and social injustice and how that manifests itself. This show, thematically, is based in the colonial history of racism in America. And given the fact that our campus at UConn Stamford is nearly 50% ethnic minorities and located in a city that is so diverse and is so culturally rich like Stamford, with our space, we thought it was a wonderful opportunity to get this kind of work in front of our students, but also to bring the work to an audience in a city that might not otherwise have a chance to engage with it. So it gives us a chance to be a part of this dialogue that's going on all around the country right now, which is really important.
One of the things that you said that was bring this to the students. Now, it's one thing to have an art gallery, and one of this power. What do the students, after this goes, what happens next? Is there going to be a follow-up? Is there going to be an opportunity for discussion? What happens afterwards?
So we have been, for lack of a better word, promoting the show to the entire campus community. We've spoken to faculty, we've communicated with faculty as well as students about the show, about where it comes from and what it's trying to do, right? Art is always in action. It is not a static thing. It's doing something with each individual. So what we're doing is bringing classes down, and folks are engaging with the work. They're writing about it in their classroom assignments. We're having that type of very granular classroom discussion. So again, it's a kind of experiential learning that goes along with the curriculum. So we're really fortunate.
So not to make it this simple, but I'm in a math class. Math class comes down, and they take that time to step out of that program and take a look at this work here.
Sure.
And then discuss it under some curriculum or some guidance?
With that, so math probably isn't going to take time out because we want them to learn math in those classes, but the humanities classes, the history classes, sociology, women's and gender studies, the writing courses, our freshman year experience class. So there are many humanities and social science-based courses to whom we have reached out, and they are engaged.
So before I let Noah jump in here, basically, can I say that the students of this campus would be hard-pressed to say that they didn't see any of the artwork?
Absolutely.
They're exposed to it?
Absolutely. Simply because it's physical location. we're in the concourse right now. This is the main thoroughfare. Everyone walks to and from this concourse. So if we had put it in the art gallery right next to us, there's a chance that they might not go in there. Not that it's not well located, but it's still its own separate room. Here, you have no choice but to walk through from one end to the other and see something. So the hope is that what they see will engage them and move them.
We're talking with Terrence Cheng. It is the Race and Revolution art exhibit over at UConn Stamford. This came together very, very quickly, it sounds like. So certainly you took something away from it. What was it that you took away from your initial seeing of the artwork? Because especially to be able to put something together so quickly, and for one as an educator to want to be able to go ahead and share that, I mean, really must have hit you strongly.
Certainly. It moved me just from the concept. And when I started to see the work online and to talk to Katie, the curator, it moved me even more. My background has always been in public higher education. So I was a faculty member and an administrator at Lehman College in the Bronx. I was an administrator at Brooklyn College. So I have always worked with Black and Latino students my entire public education life. And not for nothing, you got to be blind if you don't see what's going on right now to Black and Latino men in our country. So this dialogue has been going on for way too long. But as an educator, as an administrator, I feel it's incumbent upon someone like myself to take the initiative and to try to bring things to our students that ultimately will be of some kind of value to them.
I have to say, I always try to look at the glasses half full, and so I'm a little heartbroken as I'm reading some of the quotes and stuff. We haven't changed a bit. Well, it feels like we haven't moved the needle very far.
There's much more work that can be done, and what I would argue is that our job is to control what we can control right now. And that means that if we can bring a show like this in front of people and continue to spur that dialogue and keep the momentum moving forward to engage and change, that's what we can do and that's what we should do.
He is Terrence Cheng. We're over at the UConn Stamford Race and Revolution art exhibit. We've got the president.